Yesterday, I saw a video from Northwoods TCG and CNA Games, and in the video, well, they talked about a lot, but one particular moment in the video, they were talking about Gamestop and their grading system and how it might make more sense to take your cards there if you don't have a large amount of cards to submit to PSA directly, a big bulk order. So I'd already been thinking about starting to submit cards for grading through PSA, but one thing that had always stopped me was, one, just the cost per card submitting it directly through PSA, and two, kind of not really understanding what else needed. Do you need to sign up for that yearly membership with PSA to be able to do this, or can you just send a couple cards in at a time? I mean, it doesn't seem really cost effective to do that. But anyway, I never got around to submitting any cards, so I just kind of put it off. But seeing this video yesterday made me think, well, hey, there's a GameStop right around the corner, so I can just go take a couple cards there. So that's what I did. I got together a couple cards. I already had a stack of cards sorted that I was eventually planning on submitting for grading. So I took a couple out of this stack. Again, mind you, these two weren't super high value cards. One, because I'm not sure of GameStop's process yet, and I don't want them to get mixed up or damaged or anything. But let's take a look real quick at the two cards that I submitted and kind of their condition. I decided on the Jolteon and the Snorlax. Now, even in a PST, these aren't super high dollar cards, but I'm really more interested. See, there's already something there, but that's in the, I think that's in the card saver. But I'm more interested in really seeing how the grades come back. I don't really expect either one of them to get a 10. Snorlax is pretty well centered, and I didn't really see any defects. So I think that could possibly get a 10, or probably a 9, maybe more accurate, but we'll see what it comes back as. The Jolteon, I can tell just by looking at it, it's a little off-centered top to bottom, and maybe a little bit left to right, favoring the left side. No, favoring the right side. So there's a little bit more border on the right side, it looks like, than the left side. So, but again, it's really clean. There's no real defects on it. Corners are really good. Not really any whitening. On the Snorlax, there was one little tiny speck that I had to use the magnifying glass to see down at the bottom right-hand corner. I can't even see it with the naked eye, really. So I think, my thinking is Snorlax will probably get a 9, possibly a 10. Jolteon, maybe a 9, probably an 8. Okay, so those were the two cards that I decided to submit. So to kind of tell you about my initial impression and experience with GameStop, I went in there yesterday. Well, first I went in mid-afternoon, and there was one girl working there, and she said she wasn't able to do card submissions, but I could come back later when the manager's there, and they'll be able to do the submissions for me. So I waited, as she said, came back later, and the manager was there. So I walk in with my two cards and ask her if I can submit them for PSA grading. And she said yes, and she was super excited about it. She was like, yes, I would love to do that for you. We don't get a whole lot of them in here, and I love doing it. And it turns out she had just submitted a couple for herself and had just gotten them back and got a 10 and a 9. But she was super excited. And apparently this location here, my local GameStop store, has only been doing it, she said, for about a month. But anyway, so she started gathering the information, and we talked cards and about the process and everything. But I mean, one thing that I wasn't ready for or expecting was that she talked me into signing up for a GameStop membership. It, $25, so that's better than, what is it, $100 at PSA. So $25 annually, plus you get some points and a free pack a month or something, or points equal a pack or something. I don't remember what it was, but I wound up walking out with a free pack. But anyway, this manager was super helpful, super friendly. She explained everything to me. She allowed me to ask questions and answered all my questions. So my initial impression with GameStop is fantastic. So to kind of relay what she told me about the PSA submission process is, and I watched her do this, and she walked me through it pretty much step by step. So I laid out the 2 cards on the counter. She took an iPad, did something on the iPad, and took a picture of the cards. So I asked her, and then she started to do some more stuff on the iPad or whatever. And I asked her, well, where do the cards go from here? And I said, do they go to like a corporate office or another warehouse or something where somebody shuffles through them and then repackages them? So she explained to me that they don't leave that store, that they ship them directly to PSA. So she showed me the process. She took the cards, she put them in a sealable bag. So she put them in the cards, folded over the bag, sealed it, put them in a drawer, and locked the door. And she explained that the cards don't leave that drawer until she's ready to pack them up and send them off to PSA. So she explained, and don't hold me to this, but I believe she said that they have 10 days to ship the cards to PSA. So if the cards sit there for 10 days, then they automatically ship them out to PSA. Or if they get 20 submissions, then they send them off to PSA. So I guess if 20 people don't come in requesting PSA submissions, then the orders sit there for 10 days and then they ship them off to PSA. So she did explain how well, not in detail, but she explained that she packages them up and is careful to make sure they're secure and padded with foam, and ships them off to a PSA. And so I asked, and so I went on. I mean, that seems like a fantastic process. I thought, I was worried about the cards actually being transferred somewhere else to another, I don't know, main store or corporate office or warehouse or something, where somebody else went through them and packaged them up to send off to PSA. So you can imagine, the concerns with that. If the more hands involved, the more chances there are for damage and such. So that was good to learn. So after explaining that, she said it can take up to 45 days to get the cards back. And the cards are shipped back directly to this store. And then I'll get I believe she said I'll get a phone call and an email, or maybe it's a text message and an email letting me know when they're ready and I can come down and pick them up. So honestly, I was super impressed. I mean, this manager at the store was amazing. I mean, great person, great personality, super friendly, super helpful, answered every question, and it was just really a great experience. So maybe going through GameStop to have your cards PSA graded is a viable option. I'll make another video when I get the cards back and see how they turned out, see what grades. I don't really expect them to get high grades or anything, but we'll see how long the turnaround is, how long it takes to get them back, and we'll see what we wind up with. So thanks for watching.